Hello, everybody. MrHulthen here. Just a moment. Gotta start off the streams right here. Hope you guys are doing good. Today we're gonna talk about some cool stuff. Some video games, actually. There's been some trailers. I had no idea there was like a video game event going on right now. Supposedly there's something called Galaxies or something. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the showcase. But we're going to check out some trailers. There's some new Exodus stuff we got to look into. There is, let's see, what do we have? Well, just a bunch of trailers. Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, by the way. So yeah, that's a big one, honestly, for any big Oblivion fans here. Of course, Elder Scrolls fan myself. Obviously, one of the, you know, I love Skyrim, let's just say that. Well, I loved Skyrim back in the day up until Bethesda decided to remaster it all, like, every year, basically. You thought Mass Effect? Nah. Nothing Mass Effect related here. No Mass Effect stuff. Well, kind of. It's not really, well, it's not Mass Effect news, but it's Exodus news, and that is, you know, that's close enough. That's close enough. Come on, guys, that's close enough. How you doing, Dan? What's up? Raven. I'm gonna let you know, guys, in case there is a stream and we learn something new about Mass Effect, I will literally say that in the title. I will tell you in the title of the stream, big Mass Effect news. Right now, though, there's other news I want to talk about. Justin, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, I'm a little cheeky, but you know, you gotta be with YouTube. By the way, I added a link for everybody who don't know how to become members in the description. There's a link, sticky link up in the comment section here. So if you want to become a member and support me directly, you can do so. By the way, there are no ads playing throughout the live stream. So hey, support me directly, because live no stupid ads in the middle of the stream that interrupts this wonderful atmosphere we got going here. So just so you know, become a member, support the channel, enjoy the emotes. How's it going, Intense? It's been a while, man. How you doing? Can finally make one. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna start off, actually, because I am very curious about this game. Chronos, the New Dawn. I'm super interested in this game because I played through Silent Hill 2, the remake, and I loved it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. We got to check out the trailer here because I saw the trailer. I think it was the Game Awards, right? Hi, Saint. How you doing? We're talking about a bunch of game trailers and some Elder Scrolls. There you are. Oh, okay. You're also on Twitch. Good stuff. There's a new trailer? No, not for Mass Effect. Game trailers, not Mass Effect specific, guys. Come on. Come on now. Anyway, let's check out this, what's it called again? Chronos New Dawn. I forgot at the moment I said it. Oh no, my camera is too big for my frame. Just a moment. Guys, just a moment. Just a moment. This streaming business, it's difficult. I gotta say, guys, it's more difficult than it seems. It's very, yeah, you know, it's hard work. It's hard work. Patricia, how you doing? I want to see this first. Let's see what you guys have to say about this.
Focus your attention.
By the way, I love the Mass Effect vibes right at the start because it's like synthy wave music. It's like, oh, okay, well, sci-fi, here we go.
Giant. Sleeping. Again.
I gotta say, his helmet looks kind of weird. I'm not gonna pause it more than this, but I just gotta say it. Like the main player, like the player character's helmet looks really strange. What game is this? This is called Chronos: The New Dawn. It's by the people who made the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Animals.
Can you finally play Baldur's Gate 3? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bluebird. Bring them back. Oh, that's so smooth. I love the sound. Damn, like the fidelity. Oh, ew. Dude, this is creepy as hell. Oh, ew.
Stay focused. Stay cautious.
That is our calling.
Dude, this looks sick as hell. This looks amazing. Yeah, this is Dead Space vibes for sure. Absolutely. Adapt with perish. Merge.
You almost fried there. Good thing I was around. Traveler.
Traveler? It's like with Exodus, right? There's also Traveler there. That looks really cool. Again, like the Silent Hill 2 remake really made me go like, yeah, okay, they can make a good game over at Bloober. Yeah, that's an easy buy for sure. This looks great. This looks like Dead Space if it was set on, well, like a Dead Space Silent Hill splice, sort of like a hybrid. It really looks really cool. I'm liking it. Like the sound design, you guys hear that meaty sound when he was like shooting the guns? It's, oh, yeah, this is definitely my kind of game. It's all full of sci-fi. It's very mysterious, like what's going on with this world. I'm liking it. By the way, we have a new trailer for Expedition 33, so we're going to check that out as well. If you guys haven't seen my video about Expedition 33, go ahead and check that out after the stream. Let's pop in. What Callisto Protocol wishes it was? Kind of. Yeah, sort of. Thank God you can actually see something in this game.
Been 67 years since the world broke apart. 67 years since Lumiere was flung into the sea. 67 years since she appeared and painted her first number. Expedition after expedition have tried to stop her. Idealists fighting for the future of Lumiere.
That's insane. So, okay, so over 60 expeditions, 60 sort of like, well, groups of people have tried to stop the what is it, the goddess or the paintress? Damn. You see the new Covenant trailer? No, I haven't. Covenant. Wait, I think I have it up here to the right.
Academics obsessed with the secrets of the monolith. And those poor souls who just want their deaths to mean something. None have ever returned. And neither will I. But at least I'll have seen something of this world. Seen what lies outside the domes of Lumiere. I'll have walked the path of all the expeditions who came before us. Tomorrow, the paintress will
Yeah,
win.
that's Shadow Hearts, yeah.
And tomorrow, we sail into the unknown. Even if we fail, we lay the trail for those who come after. We are Expedition 33.
Ooh, they said the thing. She said the thing. Guys, Shadow Hearts said the thing. This game, like, I know that I've seen some comments, especially after my video, going like, I don't like turn-based and stuff like that. But if you played Baldur's Gate 3, right, I think you're gonna like this game. Because even if it is turn-based, yes, it's very much like the like Final Fantasy and all those types of games, like JRPGs. But it has a mechanic where you have to actively dodge and parry. You can't just select an action and think that it's gonna, you're gonna hit your enemy. You gotta time your attacks with button presses. It's like quick time events, but more difficult. Like the controls are tighter. I know because I played the game. So it's definitely much more action oriented than you guys might think. I actually was like, this is going to be a piece, this is going to be a walk in the park. But I got my ass kicked. If you guys look back at my live stream when I was playing the demo, that boss fight took forever. Like I think it's the first part of the game. I got stuck at a boss fight and I just kept fucking up all the time because you gotta time your parries and your dodges, and it feels surprisingly good. It really does feel really good. So you guys are gonna get your asses whipped if you think this is gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. So I'm looking forward to that. I think you guys would be making a mistake if you're just judging up on the fact that it's a turn-based game. It's more than that. It's definitely much more than that. You tried BG3 and my room turned into a sauna? Really? How come? This looks cool? Yeah, definitely. It looks so cool because I've played it. It is very cool. It's a very cool game. I like it a lot. Okay, let's move on. Covenant. You guys mentioned Covenant. Let's see what this is about. There we go.
You were right. The winds are changing. They've grown dissonant.
Oh, it's another Souls-like.
It was the 77th year. Dawn of the Composer War. The day of Malak's fall. And my eyes adapted.
It's not, okay.
To the dark.
It's a first-person shooter.
A great sword guards the city, and it faces every way.
Another bird falls from its nest.
Oh, yes.
Then
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
have words. 100 kingdoms.
Wait, what's going on here?
What is coming?
Dude, this looks fucking awesome.
If you do this, you shall never see rest, save to strip the dead.
So be it.
Oh. That looked like Mjolnir.
Belial, the villain. He does not come but to kill, steal, and destroy.
This looks sick.
Is now yours.
So wait, this was made by the Doom team? Wait a second, what's going on here? What is going on? Guys, what is this? What? Didn't they say like creators of Doom? From developers behind Call of Duty and Doom. Interesting. So we have a team from people like from vets that made Call of Duty and Doom. Are those like the original Call of Duty and the original Doom? Wait a sec. Wait, so is it first person or is it third? Because it looks like a mix between third and first person. Because I mean, here we see him do like Dark Souls, Elden Ring moves. And then it goes into first person. So I'm guessing it's a mix. This looks really cool though. I like it. Definitely. It's made by like 7 popular games, but we have seen how sometimes it doesn't work out at all. True. But still, you know, it does look really good. It does look really fun. If everything is like they've portrayed in this trailer, I would say, yeah, sign me up for this, man. Absolutely. Spine. Here's another game that is coming out. I don't know what this is about, really. It's just, you know, about some girl. Is it like a cyberpunk world? Let's check it out. And yes, it just starts off like this.
We're Lucky. Today we're excited to share the gameplay design of our upcoming Gunfu game, Spine. In our game, you're the star of your own Gunfu movie, with our protagonist...
Oh, I was like, what is he saying? Gufu? Gung-fu? That is cool. Okay, nice.
Redline engaging in free-flow combat, fluidly moving between enemies and never losing control of the action. Guns are our main focus. Everything in Spine is about how Redline uses firearms. Whether it's part of free-flow combos, dodges, or powering opponents, we always design our mechanics to feel like a Gunfu movie. Like Redline turning opponents' guns against them instead of carrying an inventory. She can use spray paint to blind her enemies, attack with nearby objects, and use environment to her advantage. Your gunful skills will be tested against both regular foes and powerful bosses, while Redline's spine implant will sharpen your reflexes to even the odds. Dare to take on a bigger challenge? Turn on hardcore mode and wishlist spine today.
Interesting. Okay, it's like sometimes I swear to God, I don't mean this in a negative way, but it kind of looks like a mobile game sometimes when you like watch it, like see how she engages with the environment. Like some of those weird ads, you know, for mobile games they keep doing, and it's like, oh, this is way too realistic to be in a video game. It actually kind of looks like that, and I kind of wish there was more gore. You guys know how I am around like gore stuff, but I do feel like, you know, it would have fit the style better considering it's like a little bit cyberpunkish. You're literally shooting a guy with a shotgun to his head. It's like, okay, you know, it's a little PG for my tastes, but like the combat looks fun if they can pull it off. That quick stare, yeah, we know. Yeah, you know. The first thing you kind of notice. I mean, they know what they're doing, obviously. I mean, they just, okay, whoopsie. What's with that shadow? Okay, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it makes sense. She seems like to be like an athletic, almost like super powered person. So it makes sense, like how she's shaped. If we can put it like that. I do like that a lot of the movements are like really natural in a way. Like it's almost like everything is mocapped. I like it. Looks really cool. But we'll have to see, of course. You never know with these types of games. Marathon. Now, I've seen some drama around this game. I haven't seen anything of the game yet. All I've seen is like this one, shot of the trailer. All I know is this is like Bungie's newest game that they've been working on. I don't really know much more about it other than that. So let's check it out. But I've seen that there's a lot of drama surrounding it. I'm not sure why, but let's see. Cyberpunk music. Halo and Destiny. Well, it's very unique.
Death. The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now. Run. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure what I feel about this. Sure, like it has a distinct visual flair, but it's like, is that all there is? It's just an extraction shooter? Is that it? Have you covered Exodus? Oh yeah, absolutely. I am covering Exodus whenever there's something out. We're gonna go into Exodus in just a moment. I don't know how I feel about this. Not that, I was a big Halo fanboy back in the day, but it's like I haven't paid attention at all to what Bungie has been doing the past few years. Not at all. I don't know. It just looks so odd. It's not like it's... Like, it has a unique flair, But it's like the art style is kind of... By the way, isn't Marathon an older game? This is like a remake, right? Oh, Andrew, no, I haven't seen that email. Thanks for letting me know. Graphics look outdated by a few generations. Maybe that's the art style. Not sure, but I'm not feeling this. Like, it doesn't look terribly interesting to me. It looks like one of those games... Again, while we're on the topic of mobile games that I mentioned before, it kind of looks like a mobile game. Not entirely, but it's like the art style and everything. It's like everything is like very super colorful and synthetic and kind of robotic and a little bit outdated in terms of graphical fidelity, I would say. Absolutely. I don't like what the game just looks like, I guess. Feels kind of blocky? Yeah. It's really strange. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm just going to shoot this down because maybe it's super fun. But the thing is, I'm kind of sick of extraction shooters. Helldivers 2, I think, is the only really good one at the moment. But this one is like... Oh, man. I get why people are like, yeah, what is this? I wouldn't be mad about it though. Maybe if you're like a Bungie fanboy and you've been like waiting for the greatest, coolest game ever. But I think this kind of just looks like just for regular normies that are not big on Halo or big on Bungie and stuff, like they're probably just gonna react the same way I do. It's like, yeah, what? It's like, it's nothing impressive, but it's not like, oh, this is terrible. What is this? It's like, what is this supposed to be? I don't know. I missed the first 8 minutes. You talked about the big stuff. No. I'm gonna get to the big stuff, I guess, because we're talking a little bit about Exodus today. It's a 15-minute long video. It's that flavor of good looking but well performing that mobile games have. They all look like they've had the life sucked out of them to facilitate low tier hardware. Good point, kind of, yeah. But we'll have to see. Maybe it's super fun. Again, you never know. You never know. Maybe the gunplay is super tight. All the movement is super tight. Everything like feels fluid and it feels like you're constantly in motion and you're in control of your actions. And who knows? Maybe it's like that. But it just does not look fairly, like it doesn't look super interesting. Big is subjective. Age standard for big might not be so big. Super big. Super big man. Very big. You guys have no idea how big. It's just, you know, what I consider big, it's the biggest of them all. It's bigly. It's bigly. It looks really meh in such a competitive space as live service. Meh will result in death. Well, no, is this live service? Obviously, it kind of has to be, right? Because, you know, Battle Pass, Bungie, Destiny. I would probably prefer playing Destiny 2 over this, honestly. Like, why would I play this? I don't see... It's just not alluring to me. But again, we'll have to see. Maybe it's one of those games you have to actually try it. You sounded like a Trump speech. That was the point. Bigly. He actually said that, didn't he? Back in the day. I'll just play Bright Memory. Oh, what's Bright Memory? Is that a new thing? Anyway, let's get into the QA video for Exodus. Now, mind you guys, this is 15 minutes of them talking, but let's check it out because we're going to find out some interesting information, I hope, from this one. And this came out yesterday. So Exodus Founders Q&A. So this is the game that's very reminiscent of Mass Effect. It's the game that I keep calling like the spiritual successor to Mass Effect. So we might not be talking about Mass Effect today, but we are talking about Exodus, which is the next best thing.
Next, please. We're going, guys. We're going. Let's go. Let's go. Bring your popcorn. This is 15 minutes.
Hi.
God, I love the music. Oh my fucking God. That Chad over to the right above my head, that is Drew Karpyshyn. That's the lead writer to Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2, guys. That is the guy to the right. The Chad to the right with glasses. He wrote Mass Effect 1 and 2. Or, well, he was the lead writer. That's what I'm saying.
I'm Chad Robertson. I'm the general manager at Archetype Entertainment, and I am thrilled to be back for another edition of our Founders Q&A. I've got some of my favorite colleagues with us today. As a surprise, you're going to get to meet some new folks that are going to give you some amazing responses to your wonderful questions that have come in. So before we get started with the questions, let's do some introductions. On my left, I have Drew. Drew, can you give us an intro to who you are?
Hi, I'm Drew Karpyshyn, and I am the narrative director at Archetype Entertainment.
Very cool. Thank you,
Can
Drew.
I just say, it's so fucking good to finally see Drew without that old ass photo of him. Whenever I make my videos, like about Mass Effect or whenever I make about Exodus, I keep trying to find photos of Drew, and I can never really find any good photos of him because he just has one photo that is like professionally taken with good lighting. Finally, we get to see Drew in all his glory right here. God damn.
And Jesse on my right.
Hi, I'm Jesse Sky. I'm the creative director on Exodus.
Jesse
Very
Sky.
cool. Thanks, guys. First off, thanks for taking the time to talk with us and talk with the community. In all seriousness, we got a great batch of questions in this time, and I think the responses are going to be really exciting for fans to hear. So let's get started.
Is there a minimum or maximum number of years you will be experienced in order to complete the full storyline of Exodus? Oh, like, okay, so how many years is the story, basically? Very interesting.
It's difficult to talk about the total span of years for the game without spoiling things, but I can say this. When we first started thinking about the IP back in 2019, one of the things that excited us the most was the potential to see
It's been 6 years, guys. They started thinking about this game 6 years ago. And we know now that it's going to come out next year, somewhere around spring, I think. So, my God.
Changes in your home civilization based on the choices you make. For this game, the trick is going to be to give you enough time to grow attached to your homeworld and get invested in the characters there before we send you on your first interstellar mission. And from that point forward, you'll start seeing things advance at a rapid rate. But of course, we want you to see the human impact of your choices, so your initial missions are more in the range of a human lifespan. But by the end, who knows? Centuries may have passed.
Yeah, the great thing about our story is it starts at a very personal level and becomes very epic by the end.
Right. Well, that's kind of that's sort of like how Mass Effect does it, right? It starts very personal and it goes into like, into even more personal stuff with the loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2 and then with the grand finale in Mass Effect 3. That makes sense. You build up, you scale up the story as you go on. Yeah, that makes sense. But because like when you have like these massive, like centuries to millennia type repercussions of what you do, yeah, obviously that would be for the ending of the game, I feel. Captain Bill Burkett, welcome, man. How you doing?
Yeah, so The Awakened are one of my favorite
aspects. Yeah, Jesse worked on the Old Republic.
When we first started thinking about what it would feel like to board ARC ships and colonize...
Guys, again, this is important. The three boys we see here, Jesse, Chad, and Drew, they're the OG BioWare boys. Okay? Guys, the good old BioWare. We're seeing some of the folks right here. 1, 2, 3. Trip, trap, trull, as we say in Sweden.
As distant star systems, my immediate concern was, what about
Kona
my cats?
Coffee, oh my God.
I have 2 cats that I love, and I don't want to leave them behind. So I want them to come with me on my adventures. And the more we thought about it, the more we realized that this love for animals is something that sets humans apart from Celestials. We're sentimental creatures, and I think traveling 15,000 light years from Earth would make us even more sentimental about the things that are unique to Earth. So we gotta bring them with us. I'm also a huge fan of Hayao Miyazaki and Princess Mononoke in particular, and the idea of these independent, intelligent animals that have their own lives, their own motives, was really interesting to me.
That is really cool. I do like that he brings up the inspiration of. I've never heard a game dev bring up Miyazaki when they're talking about video games, as in My Neighbor Totoro and stuff like that. It's like, damn, that's actually really cool that he brings that up, because yeah, those, you know, those films, those animated films, they always they generally have a lot of animals in them. I have one thing to say about Mass Effect Balance. Saved for the end of the video. The Exodus game looks so good. Yes, it does. Do I get to use an Omni tool? It's there is kind of like an Omni tool, but it's called obviously something. I think it's called Livestone. It works not really exactly the same, but it lets you engage and manipulate like ancient technology.
It's not something I've seen in an epic science fiction universe before, and it adds a touch of whimsy. And it allows us to see ourselves through their eyes as we start questioning what it means to be human in a universe that has basically evolved beyond us. So the answer to the question is, you won't be playing as an Awakened, but you will have an Awakened companion. And there are lots of Awakened supporting characters who will help you along your journey as well.
Nice.
And we'll announce more about them in future updates.
So Jesse, we've known each other a really long time, but I gotta tell you, I'm allergic to cats, man.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna bring my dog. Is that gonna be a problem?
Yeah, we got dogs too, it's fine.
We do? Okay.
Yeah.
Separate sections on the ARC ship will be good. All right.
Wait, what kind of companions are they talking about here? Are they saying we can do it like the Palicos in Monster Hunter? Like we can bring, like with a cat or a dog that's awakened, and we can like select them like pets? Or are there actually companions that you recruit and that are just like either a dog or a cat and so on? Imagine if they're like actual companions that talk to you. That would be really cool.
Right.
Can I bring my elephant?
TBD.
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 How would that work? Are there creatures in this universe that are not necessarily those we would recognize from Earth, like the Maruyama? If so, where do they come from? I mean, yeah, we've already seen, well, the Maruyama, of course, but there's probably going to be even more, yeah.
So the Maruyama are what we call Celestials. Celestials are the descendants of the first humans that left Earth, arrived in the Centauri cluster, and evolved over thousands and thousands of years before we arrived. So even though they started as human, they have evolved into very divergent beings. They're basically the aliens of our game. They don't look human. They're many different types, many different forms. They're also something called changelings. Jesse loves the Awakened. I love the changelings. The changelings are genetically engineered, created by the Celestials to be their servants, their workforce, their soldiers. They use them to colonize worlds, to go into environments that are hostile, almost unlivable. Changelings are really, for me, a way to explore what is possible through the genetics, through the alteration of what life is. And I think they're going to be really fun, really incredible. And
so they're like, the changelings are basically like, let's say they're like organic robots. They're like organic servants, right? And he makes a really cool point there. Yeah, like how do you use various tools of like organically developed life forms that you use as sort of slaves? That is like very interesting, because it obviously, I think it would be a thing in the future if we ever like get to explore the galaxy. Either you would use some form of AI, some form of bots to explore the galaxy or rebuild and terraform planets, or you would use organic life forms that you have evolved, you know, forcefully. So that's essentially what the changelings are. I like him already. Yeah, like that's the cool thing about Drew. He always seems so super passionate whenever he talks about these things. That's just always just fun to listen to. You're a zombie right now? Sorry to hear that, Bronwyn. We all are some days.
And you're going to meet quite a few different ones.
Yeah, I think the changelings introduce some sort of awkward and uncomfortable questions about what it means to be human, especially since many of them are possibly descended from humans or from other Celestials.
Yes,
yeah,
disturbing.
And I don't want to spoil which ones are in there. I think, what were you saying, Chad?
Yeah, we've introduced one actually. So for fans that haven't seen it, go check out the Archivir video that we put out.
I feel so bad for these guys. They had a teaser trailer for the Archivir. They're gonna be like, I'm sure I'm gonna feel for these guys. They just look miserable as all hell, but freaking cool. I mean, look at the spiky boy right here. They look like Krogan, like juiced up Krogan. Am I the only one? Passion is something that is lacking in gaming industries right now, and it's nice to see passionate people that want their stuff to succeed. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I like these QA videos so much, because they just, they're just being open and transparent with the community.
A little bit of a tease.
They're
some
building
stuff on that we think you'll like
rapport. What is traveling next is going to feel like? Is it point to point or open-ended? That is a big question I have wondered as well. Is it like, okay, you travel from this planet to this planet. Does that mean that every time you travel, it's like time limited sort of? Or is it where you reach certain story points and that's when, time skips? Because it's essentially just story segments.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it was one of the big challenges we had to solve early in the project. So obviously in this game, you'll be taking on the role of a traveler, which is someone who ventures into the unknown to seek out powerful celestial artifacts and technologies. And that will include a mix of missions where you explore the ancient celestial history of your human homeworld, missions that take you into your local star system, and interstellar missions that take you to distant star systems. The game is structured around linear story missions with some open exploration beats and role-playing beats in your home city. Our top priority was to tell an epic story with choices that matter.
Okay, so there's personal exploration, there's some personal stuff in the city itself where you run around. So I guess that the city, I don't remember the name of it, but that's going to be your main hub, I guess. Huh.
And we try to give you as much agency as
this is Exodus. It's an upcoming sci-fi RPG next year.
We can within that story. So there are a few beats where you can choose the order that you tackle story missions and side quests, but it's not a sandbox. In terms of its overall structure, it's
good. It's not sandbox. They're structuring the game very, not linearly, but open-ended, but still, it's a linear story, kind of. Or maybe not linear story, because then you wouldn't have choices. Branching story choices. Sort of like, well, let's say like Baldur's Gate 3, for example. It's not a sandbox either, but it's a big game with a big world. So that's the Citadel, essentially. Yeah, basically, kind of. Sounds like it. It's probably going to be bigger, though, I think. You're going to have to do, you're going to want to be able to do stuff. Fucking guy over here just smiling through his, God, look at Drew over up there. Jesus. He's like, yep, I wrote those games. That was me. Damn, dude, I'm getting excited. Just seeing these three boys makes me excited. This is like, oh, I feel right at home. This is, oh my God, this is great. I love that they actually say it. They know people are going to be like, oh, obviously this looks like Mass Effect a lot. It's like, yeah, this is closer to Mass Effect than Knights of the Old Republic. There you go. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. New Superman trailer just came out. Oh, we got to check that out later.
Drew was a big part of both of those games.
Yeah, one of the things I love about RPG games is you get to explore a lot of different locations. But for me, it's more about how the story is shaped by that travel. How your journeys affect your home, your companions, your allies, your enemies. What is the point of the travel rather than the actual mechanics or how it works? What are the consequences and how will that change your experience as a player?
Oh, Jesus, what did it say there? I missed it because I read the chat at the same time. Aside from the Maruyama and the Crowns of Dominion, will other celestial civilizations be featured in the game and be relevant to this story? Good question.
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, Celestials are basically the alien civilizations that we have to contend with in the Centauri cluster. They were once humans from Earth, but because they traveled to Centauri at different speeds under the effects of time dilation, they arrived here thousands of years before we did, and they've evolved into countless cultures and species. To answer the question, you'll encounter a number of strange new species in the game, including a number of changelings, which is what Drew discussed, which are subspecies created by Celestials. In terms of large celestial civilizations, or what we call the Dominions, the Crown and the Maruyama are the two big ones you'll encounter, who are still active in the cluster. And once your homeworld becomes technologically advanced enough, they start taking an unhealthy interest in you. But your homeworld was also created by a celestial dominion that is now extinct. And a big part of the game will be investigating the ruins of that culture to learn what happened to them. You'll have...
Okay, so the Crown Dominion, that's the big lanky aliens you see in the trailer, the bald one. And the Maruyama, which are like the mutated, disgusting ship aliens. So those are the two big main opponents or big main baddies we're going to face off against. But there are extinct ones. There are several, there's a lot of extinct civilizations in the book as well. I haven't read it yet, but I've seen some spoilers from it. And then, of course, yeah, obviously, June, which is your main character that you play as, has heritage from another celestial civilization. Really cool.
Chances to meet some of the remains of that culture and use what you learn to inform the
kind of
choices you
spoiler,
make about
yeah,
the future
kind
of your homeworld. And one of the themes of our game is that those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, one of the things, if you want to learn a little bit more about the Crown Dominion, I would check out the Archimedes Engine, the Peter F. Hamilton novel set in our universe. Gives you a really interesting glimpse into their culture and their worlds. And I think it's really a really nice introduction to the universe of Exodus.
Are the traveler groups that have different principles, or are all travelers aligned towards a common goal as a large group and fight together?
In our game, travelers are the heroes of humanity. They are adventurers, they're explorers. They seem to have a common overarching goal, which is to elevate humanity, to help us find our place in a galaxy that is very hostile, to help us find our world among these advanced civilizations that the Celestials have created. However, the way you do that varies quite a bit from traveler to traveler. So as a traveler, you leave your homeworld behind, and when you come back, things might have changed. So what the travelers have developed is a system of what we call dynasties. A dynasty are people who share your beliefs, share your systems, are loyal to you, who you can leave behind on the home.
They're essentially factions, pretty much. Like, yeah. So there are factions, essentially.
World, so that when you return, it will have been progressing in the way you want. Things won't have changed too much, or they will have changed in the way that you sort of pre-approved. There are different dynasties on every world that are often in conflict. Sometimes they're rivals, sometimes they're allies. In our game, you will have other dynasties that you run into, other travelers who have their own agendas, some of them who will help you, some of them who will oppose you. And it's one of the things I really love, because we show that even though humanity has a common goal, we aren't united in our ways of doing things, in the way we think we should get there, in how we want to achieve these goals. And I think that play between the different dynasties is one of the things that really adds to the flavor of the game and of your companions and the story we're trying to tell.
Damn, like, I love how absolutely, like, how fluently he answered that, because he goes so in depth. It's like, you can tell that he's not reading a script. You can tell that he's like responsible for most of it. Like, so all the knowledge is in his head, right? It's so cool just seeing a creative person like this just essentially explain everything, one thing after another, in a way that's very very easy to understand. I keep wondering whether the Mariyama is just a play on words with the Yama part. No, I think it's a word from Hindu or something. It means something specifically. Like, it's Mariyama is supposedly like a boogeyman. I don't know, or something else. I don't really know what it is, but it's taken from like they're real words. Exodus seems like a well thought out game for a change, with deep lore in the universe. That is the biggest thing for Exodus, like, that's going for Exodus right now. I don't know how often I've said this. I don't know if I've really said it that much, honestly, but Mass Effect, like, I'm one of those Mass Effect fans that, as much as I love the companions, and I do love all of the squad mates and the characters in the Mass Effect trilogy, really why Mass Effect 1 is such a good game for me is because of the atmosphere and the world building. And what I feel Exodus is doing right now, what they are doing with Exodus, is they're building up an even bigger universe than Mass Effect right now, even before the game has come out. And I think they're doing a good job of it, because it's like they're communicating with the fan base. They are essentially explaining things, and like all of the things that they've shown so far, they just make sense when you think about them. They make logical sense. It's a very logical kind of universe where it's easy to understand how it became this way, like how we traveled to another. Basically like a mini galaxy somewhere around the Milky Way, and we essentially traveled for so long that we evolved into a different species. Like, the main concept is really easy to understand, with time dilation and everything, and then empires and stuff like that. I think they're doing such a good job, man. How you doing, Nikita? Welcome. Don't worry about it. He just knows what's going on. Man's got a plan and he knows it's good. Yeah, he's got a plan for sure. Like, he seems so, like, he's so in the know. They did the same thing with Mass Effect. The first Mass Effect book by Drew Karpyshyn came out before the game did. Did it? That's a fact I didn't actually know. Thank you, Bingo. That's cool. Well, technically, so far, I think they've shown more, though, than they did with Mass Effect. But even still, yeah, that makes sense if Drew did that before Mass Effect 1 came out. So true about ME1. Yeah, I feel like Mass Effect 1 is like the best atmospheric sci-fi game made of all time. I would put maybe Dead Space right behind it because of the horror elements and stuff like that. But I think like just in terms of vibes, in terms of nostalgia, even when I played Mass Effect 1 for the first time back in the day when I was a teenager, I was still really nostalgic whenever I heard all the music going on, all the explanations about the Protheans and the Reapers and everything, and just how the galaxy, like the races in the galaxy come together, and like everything is just so beautiful in a way where like I haven't seen anything like it in any other franchise. And I feel like Exodus is probably the one that can come close or be its own thing while still like having the same ingredients to what like made Mass Effect 1, maybe 2 and 3 even, so great. Mass Effect 1 was my favorite due to its combat and still having the mystery of the Reapers, and ME1 did a lot for immersion. Really? You think the combat was better? I think 3 probably had the best combat for me. Maybe you're talking about the Legendary Edition, because that would make sense, because they definitely changed up the combat in the Legendary Edition. Nick, yes, in terms of vibes, mixed with all the world building and how the space feels, and even now, space exploration in ME1, even with reused assets just on the fields level is amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, there's something about the vibe. And I feel like Drew here is one of the main ingredients to why the vibe with this game will be, I'm just going to call it out, it's going to be amazing. I generally don't like to say that before a game comes out, but I really think that this could end up being amazing. It already seems like it. Just the vibes of getting into the game, just looking around, just seeing how everything just works. It's just, you know, it's one of those games. Tydell, welcome to the Ensven squad. Thank you for the support. Enjoy the emotes and enjoy the little tag you get, or the banner, I guess. Exploring Empty Planet just to find a random hut with some log of the crew and tiny story was so fun for me. It's part of the charm, I guess, with Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect 2 did it better, and Mass Effect 3 also did it better because they were more linear. There were still optional zones, but there was still a type of charm with the planets on Mass Effect. They weren't infinite, you know, you couldn't just keep exploring forever. They ended. I think if they just had shortened, maybe like made the areas a tiny bit smaller and not as big, that would have been great. But still, like, just overall, the feeling, the atmosphere was just amazing. You rock, man. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it, man. Find a room full of boxes on an empty moon. Yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it? Did you ever watch the old E3 demos of Mass Effect 1? I like the UI and some aspects of the demo more. I haven't seen that in a long time. I didn't even watch the trailer for Mass Effect 1 back in the day. I just bought the game. I didn't even know it existed before I bought it. I just saw it at a GameStop, and I was like, oh, this looks cool, and then I bought it. So I never saw any pre-release material before Mass Effect, but I should probably check it out.
Our universe is as much about contending with the difficulties of other humans as it is about aliens. All travelers are united by the Traveler's Creed, but there are a number of sub-philosophies that people ascribe to, which we'll explore in later videos.
How does the rot... What the hell is the rot? I don't really understand that yet. How does the rot impact the world, and does it have a direct effect on the player's journey? Is it a force of nature, or is it something or someone controlling it?
Basically, the rot is a powerful phenomenon that affects celestial technology, causes it to degrade, break down, causes it to malfunction. The origins of the rot, the mechanics of the rot are very mysterious. It is unknowable, but also unstoppable, inexorable. Slowly, it will bring your homeworld to destruction if you don't find a way to save it.
Yeah,
kind of sounds like the Flood, like destroying technology instead. Very interesting.
I'll say the rod is a big part of the story, but it's also part of gameplay. It affects how you traverse levels and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does? Oh, so so the rod is like, so it's an actual physical thing in the game that blocks your progress? Really cool. Can you give us a sense of what truly drives the player forward? If the goal survival, is the goal survival or something greater, something that could redefine the fate of humanity?
That's a great question. The story we're telling is very much the classic hero's journey, which is something I guess you don't see too often in video games recently. You start out with humble beginnings as a salvager just trying to scrape by on a dying world.
Thank God.
But for various reasons that I can't go into right now, you know that you're destined for something greater, to become a traveler and build a better life for you and everyone you love. And it's the combination of that dream and that desperation that drives you forward in the early parts of the game. But then, of course,
the hero's journey, here we go. It's just, you know, it's just how you do video games most of the time. You know, when you do these grand, epic sci-fi adventures or fantasy adventures, the hero's journey is the trope, but it's a trope that works. You know, you start off as just some nobody or someone that doesn't think that they are super special or something, and they grow to become this grand hero. Because it's all about wish fulfillment in a way, right? Because you get to take this journey that you can't take in real life. Because that is why the trope is so popular. That is why, like, stories that use the hero's journey essentially all the time, like they always succeed if the material is good, if the content or the book or the movie or the game itself is just overall good. I don't want to be an already known loser. I want to be an actual loser. Right, and then you climb your way to the top and you become the greatest person ever. It's just wish fulfillment, really. The rot is 3 hours of scrolling Twitter. Very true, Normandy. Very true.
Of course, things get complicated. As you grow more powerful and influential in your home world, you start dealing with the problems of leadership, and there's a conundrum at the heart of it, which is that the more you fix up your home world and advance your civilization towards something that can survive in this universe, the more you draw attention of hostile forces which vastly outmatch you.
Yeah, it's really an underdog.
So you don't, it doesn't sound like you actually does get chased off planet by your brother, because that is something you read up on the website, I think. I don't remember where it said, where they said it. But like, okay, so Gideon is supposedly like your brother and he chases you off planet, but I'm not sure, is that something that happens throughout the story, or does that happen in the intro? I'm confused.
Underdog tale where you start as an underdog, but eventually become a true player in the galactic power struggle.
Good shit.
But that's one of the things I love about our game, is just that evolution of you from the humble beginnings to the grand epic.
Yeah, it really is epic in scope, I think.
What is one idea from the early Exodus vision that has survived all the rounds of iteration? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, so I would say, honestly, most of the important things. Time dilation, the travelers, the celestial dominions, the hero's journey. I think we've had a pretty clear vision for the story from the beginning, but it's very ambitious.
Very important. I've talked about this before. Oh, sorry, by the way, guys, I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. I got to switch back and forth here. But essentially, what he said here is that... I lost my train of blah, 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 blah. Yeah, bro's keeping all the video for himself. Yes, I do. I want to keep the video for myself. I don't want you guys to see the footage here because it's secret. It's only for me. Mass Effect 1 had my favorite shotgun in combat because of how the enemies would ragdoll across the map. That's pretty funny, yes, but at the same time, it was a little bit too silly for me. I do prefer like some of the gore in Mass Effect 3 especially. I keep repeating myself here about like the gore, but it really is that important for me.
Just so it takes a while to build. I guess one thing I would say is, I think from the beginning, I wanted our story to convey the richness.
I gotcha. I almost gotcha. Almost forgotcha.
Of human experience. And I want to show people in a hopeful but realistic light. My favorite stories have elements of heroism, romance, tragedy, and comedy. I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and when I think of the game stories that I love the most, they hit you on a number of levels. And I think recently games have fallen into the trap of being very monotone, too cynical or too idealistic or too detached from human nature. Striking a balance is hard. Life is extremely messy and every individual is a strange mix of good and evil. And I want our story to reflect that.
Yeah.
Dude, Jesse sounds like such a fucking Chad, man. All of these are Chads, but Jesse he's like, the dude just quietly criticized other games without name dropping anything. It's like either too cynical, it's either too idealistic. He's growing on me. This Jesse man here, the also old BioWare veteran that I didn't know too much about, that he's growing on me. That that is cool that he mentions that, because I think it's very important to be honest and transparent about how you feel now you see things, especially also, knowing that he's a Lord of the Rings fan, that just sells it. Okay, the guy knows his stuff. You were saying it's important that they have a clear vision for the story already. Yeah, exactly. I keep saying that, like I've said that all the time. Like, the vision for the game is the most important thing to get down before even starting on the game, because that's when you have something to focus on, and then everything becomes easier. If you don't know what the goal is, if you don't have a clear vision for your game, like, what even is the game you're trying to make, really? I hope this game succeeds, not because of who the devs are, but to prove that companies are just lazy to do a quality product. Yeah, kind of, in a way. I hope this showcases essentially that you can still make great AAA games like this. I don't even know if you can call it AAA though, but they are like over 100 employees, I think.
Yeah, the thing that actually amazes me is not only seeing the seeds of the story that still remain and those core elements, but how they've actually changed and evolved. That's the thing I find always interesting. You look back at some of the old documents, the old plans, and as we've progressed with the story, as we've brought other brilliant creative people onto the team, as we've taken the bits and pieces and started putting them all together, seeing how things grow and change and develop and broaden from those initial seeds into this vast universe is the thing I actually find really interesting, and the thing that always strikes me when
I gotta mention, I love how Chad is like silent throughout the entire video. He doesn't say a thing. He just lets the two creatives here just do their thing. They're just, Jesse says a thing, Drew evolves on it, Drew says his thing, Jesse evolves on it, and Chad is like just there in the middle. Bring back quality and passion to AAA games. Yes, exactly. These types of games where there's a clear vision, it's something unique, there's something interesting about it that you haven't seen before. Like, all of that stuff, it's just, yeah. My only worry with Exodus is Wizards of the Coast. Same, absolutely. They haven't been doing the best of practices lately. I hope they can just let them make a great game. As far as I understand it, as far as I know from, what's his name again? The director, sorry about the camera, by the way. It's my microphone that's in the way. James Olen. Apparently, they have free reign. So Wizards of the Coast are like hands off, as far as I understand. They essentially, what he said is that, yeah, I just want to do this, but I want full control, And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. So this could be the situation. I'm telling you guys, here's the thing. Exodus could be a Baldur's Gate 3 situation. It could be. We still haven't seen Archetype prove themselves yet because we haven't seen them make a game yet, but this could be a Baldur's Gate 3 situation, because if that was essentially what Sven Vinke had in that Wizards of the Coast were like, yeah, make your game, we're hands off, you do your thing. And if they are also allowed to do their thing with James Olen as the director, as we know, who was the director for, I think it was the director for Dragon Age Origins, Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, come on. What are we talking about today? We're talking about a bunch of trailers and now Exodus. After BG3's success, I'm pretty sure Wizards will let them do their thing. I think so too. Look, I don't like Wizards of the Coast. Not one bit. And I don't like Hasbro. I've been reading up on them for a long time now since BG3 came out. I know what we are dealing with here, but I do think they're hands off, because that is essentially what James Olen said. And I do trust his words over that. So we'll see, of course, who Who knows? Maybe it's not at all a success, but I think we can be positive about this. My main concern is if they become hands-on later on. Very true, Bingo, because it's very possible they become very hands-on with Baldur's Gate after the success of BG3. And I hope they don't butcher it, but you never know, you know. Who's also the main designer for BG2? Exactly, James Olin. He's not here right now in the video, but...
When I look back at some...
1, 2, 3, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 OGs right now that, like, most people are like, yeah, these guys, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the vibe, man.
The original documents and...
I feel so much pride in it, having, you know, we've been working together on this for so long now that around the office now, even we have some documents on the wall that are sort of the tenets of what we envisioned Exodus to be before it was even called Exodus. Like the fact that we've stuck to those at the core since the very beginning. I mean, just a testament to the creative power of these guys and James and everybody else involved to make something that we think fans are really going to enjoy. But it's really humbling to be part of it and see it have started back then and still stick to those roots and still be with us today in that same form.
Will there be paths or outcomes that only a very rare few will uncover based on their choices?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there are outcomes that I think only a small percentage of players will likely discover. And I think they're pretty awesome, but I can't talk about them right now. Obviously, it'd be huge spoilers.
Please let it be evil choices and stuff like that most people just don't have the stomach to do. Please let it be those kind of choices. Of course, like also like very hidden, very like specific things that you can do throughout the story or choices and NPC dialogue and stuff. Oh, man, I hope that is really deep. WOTC is the publisher? Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I saw some concepts for them recently, and yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, one of the things I love about RPGs is having all these little Easter eggs, these other little hidden things. Our story is about choices. The choices you make influence the story, influence the outcomes, influence your companions, and we want to reflect that in what happens in the things you see. So there are definitely going to be things that as a player you will think you've played the whole game, and then you'll find out that your friend had something very different happen, or you'll go online and you'll see and you'll say, oh my God, I didn't even know that was possible. That's one of the things that makes, I think, the story so rich, is that there is all these little bits and pieces hidden away, these hidden gems that you can discover by doing different things or taking a different path than someone else.
And you're making choices over the course of so many years, and there's so many different sort of phases that your civilization goes through, that seeing the unique combinations that can result from that is really interesting, and it's a big part of, well, I can't say much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the coolest part with this, and we've talked about that as the core of the game since so long, that seeing it come together in the game now has been just really exciting, because the complexity of that part of the development has been one of the deepest parts of it that has taken the longest time to get to a place where we can actually see it and see the way players are going to respond to it, and it's exciting to see that come online now.
Awesome. We'll be able to have relationships that are romantic or alliance-based that factor into the impact of our choices. Ooh!
Yeah, your relationships are a huge part of the game, including romantic relationships. But they're complicated by your interstellar missions, which separate you from the people you love for years at a time. So the choices you make with regard to your relationships have the biggest impacts on the story by a huge margin.
Yeah, our stories are about choice and characters. That's what makes a great story. So your choices impact your relationship with the characters, and your relationship with the characters impacts your story. And that goes for family, friends, romantic attachments, everyone you encounter. You can take things in one direction or another, and it will be reflected in the story and affect how your relationships evolve and change.
And some of the characters you have relationships with are very powerful and influential people on your home world, so those relationships obviously have an outsized impact because of their influence.
Man, a message for our founders. Ooh.
That's it for our Founders Q&A for today. We really appreciate you joining us, and I'm very appreciative of Drew and Jesse joining me today to help answer your questions. Please keep them coming in. We sincerely appreciate them. The depth to which you're helping us explore this IP is amazing, and we really appreciate you tuning in. So look forward to talking to you again soon, and thanks very much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Dude, I gotta say, guys, this looks fucking good. This looks good as hell. I'm no lie, I am hyped. I am hyped for Exodus. Seeing Drew Karpyshyn seeing Jesse, just seeing them creatively just sit there and just, you know, spitballing kind of what the world is, how it works, how the universe is created, seeing Drew being this passionate, it's just cool because you can see that they are super creative. You can see that they're in the bubble of creation. It's just, man, very meaningful. Yeah, that was very meaningful. Absolutely. I feel like I gained a lot from that, just a lot of insight, mainly because of the passion that they exude when they talk about it, right? It's like you can tell that they know their stuff. Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good, guys. I think this is going to be good. Because I think this needs to be a smash success from the get-go because they're a new studio, you know. But then again, it's like, how could it not be? I mean, we have at least 3 of the OGs from old BioWare. I don't know how long Jesse was at BioWare, but he was a part of the Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic. But he seems to know his stuff. Drew Karpyshyn, man, I'm such a fan of his stuff. He's so good at writing. Let them cook? Oh yeah, let them cook. But we do know that the game is coming out in I think it's April. Don't quote me on that, but it's next year. It could be in May, it could be in spring, but it's somewhere around there, I think, because they had announced, I think it was Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast that had announced what their plans were, and Exodus is planned for next year. Fuck GTA. not fuck GTA. I want to play the next GTA. I'm looking forward to it a lot. But Exodus, this is my jam. This is your jam. If you're watching this is your jam. I mean, I like GTA just as much as the next guy. I've played all of the games. Yes, even the old GTA games of the top to bottom GTAs, yes, I've played all of them and finished them all from beginning to end. But this here, this is my shit. This is my shit. Are you a fan of the Elder Scrolls by any chance? I am indeed. So, right, we got to talk about this. I can't miss talk about this, guys. Did you also like to go die on the railroad in GTA 1 and 2? Okay, I can't give you any specifics, but I do know that I played through all of the games. Specifically, any railroad? I don't remember. Man, it's been so long. I think I played GTA 1 and 2 when I was maybe 9? So you can't ask me specific questions. You can ask me specific questions I remember specifically from Vice City, I think. From Vice City up until GTA 5. Because Vice City is when I feel like they really got the story going. When they really started to get the characters right. Tommy Vercetti, one of my favorite characters. Lance Vance, man, one of the biggest betrayals ever. My hearts broke into a million pieces. I was so mad. But yeah, from there on out. This is essentially a new IP of BioWare. Basically. If it's directed by the director of Origins, it's guaranteed to be great. Maybe not guaranteed, but it's definitely up there on the possibility of the likelihood of it being absolutely incredible. I think it's gonna be like I just do that together with Drew Karpyshyn. It's like, yeah, I think they gotta win here, man. I think they gotta win. Anyway, let's go into this Oblivion thing, right? I don't know if you guys have seen it already, but they're leaked some images for the Oblivion remake, which is coming out next week. I think they're going to shadow drop the game. Well, it's not much of a shadow drop anymore, but yeah, we have an Oblivion remastered on our hands here. And I think it's looking pretty good. I do wish that maybe some of the colors were a little bit different here to the right, but otherwise, because it looks a little bit muted, right? But I think that's the Unreal effect taking place here. Maybe not. It's just, I wish the vegetation was a little bit more colorful. But I do think that the above picture there with the nymph looks really good. We have this very, very dark picture. You can't really see much, but it's clearly some old ruins. We got this here. There's also like a very darkened picture of a town square. Another picture of a ruin. I don't remember, did Oblivion always have those pretty skyboxes that Skyrim has? And with the Aurora Borealis? I agree the sepia tone is kind of tired feeling. Maybe the images were just taken during the golden hour. Yeah, maybe it's due to weather effects. Absolutely, that's a good point. Maybe the pictures to the right here is due to weather. Is very possible because, but maybe it's also, well, yeah, during sunset maybe. Because the sky also looks a little red over here, or the sepia, as you say. They added a little Easter egg with the Skyrim logo right there. I want to drown in Exodus. Me too, man. Me too. Exodus won't have Tally, though. No, but they're going to have something probably equally good, I think. Oblivion Gate, here we go. Looks good, but... part of me when I saw this was like, I wish the gate looked a little bit more next gen. Because I think it kind of looks, it just looks like it's from the original game. Then again, they don't want to change too much because they don't want to make an entirely different game. It's still Oblivion, right? But a part of me was like, why doesn't this look more high fidelity? But then again, it's the text, it's the resolution of the image and stuff like that. Bethesda has had acceptable skyboxes throughout their games, but Skyrim definitely was amazing. Yeah, because it looks like the skybox over here. It looks one of those, like it has that Skyrim quality, right? Up here. With the stars. Is Exodus like Mass Effect? It seems so, yeah. They even name-dropped Mass Effect during the Q&A. So it's supposedly more like Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic than anything, which is just good news for me. I'm very happy about that. Give me all that, We have this, which I don't remember which part that is. Again, Oblivion is one of those games that I played like 15 years ago. I barely remember. Starfield quality. I think it looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Stay away from stars. No need for a space game from Bethesda. True. They should stay in medieval fantasy land, essentially. This looks pretty good as well. It again has that kind of Skyrim skybox. We have a goblin attacking probably the player. Now, here's the thing, right? I noticed this as well. I don't know if you guys can see it. Again, this might be because of the resolution, the low resolution of the pictures, but I do feel like the armor and the rings here on the chainmail, they kind of look painted on. It's the same thing with the textures here. It just looks a little too painted on. But then again, it might be because of the low resolution. But that's one of those things that I noticed. It was like, oh, I hope it's like more high res than this, and it's clipping through a little bit. But then again, it's just a remaster. It's not a remake. Seems to be, at least. Modeled the same, just higher res texture. Maybe. If it's a shadow drop next week, I'm gonna be a very busy gaming person. Same here, because I'm gonna be playing Clair Obscur as well, or Expedition 33, really. Here we get the deluxe edition cover. Pretty cool. Load one more image. Here we go. So here we get some horse armor and some good stuff, I guess, if you can call it that. Obviously, a little bit of a callback to when horse armor became a thing. But yeah, we have some weapons and armor as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this next week, but I really hope that it's one of those remasters that actually feels like it's worth your money. I really hope that they have updated stuff like some of the sound effects and some of the magic effects and stuff like that, because you know, part of me, I don't want them to like re-record a bunch of lines. I think I'd prefer them not to do that, but I think they definitely need to add like new effects, new sound effects and stuff like that. Definitely. Looks less comical and I like it so far. Loved Oblivion, but I never understood them making making a supposed dark and horrid game of evil gods invading the mortal plane, but everyone looks and acts like it. True. It's like a parody. Yeah, it's a little bit like a parody. Absolutely. I felt like that as well with Oblivion. Even though I'm hype, I will not be playing it at a drop. I'm too jaded to trust the quality of any games that release. Understandable. Completely understandable. Completely. Yeah. I always suggest that people don't pre-order because I don't do it myself. I do want to see some reviews. I want to play the game first through myself. If I can't watch a review, you know, obviously I'll ask for a review code so I can play it early and let you guys know my thoughts and opinions. But yeah, like I always generally wait until I can see more of the game, obviously. Stop, you criminal scum! Walks away, gets stuck in the door, dies. Very true. Every time. It's gonna be on Game Pass. Oh, okay. Well, obviously, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but I'm gonna play this on. I'm gonna play this on PC, obviously. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. But I think I'm honestly gonna be more busy with Expedition 33 because that is a game I've played it myself. Obviously, I played Oblivion back in the day as well. But like this is probably gonna be a different type of experience. Hopefully. Drew is cooking. I'm catching up. Oh, damn, Eddie. Welcome, by the way. I will, of course, play as a criminal scum. I think everybody will. It's going to be very familiar to get into it again because we just got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is very similar in many ways to the Elder Scrolls games. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play a criminal scum. I just love doing it in the Elder Scrolls games. It's just so much fun. Zeep, by the way, welcome to the Ensven Squad. Appreciate the support. Thank you for becoming a member, supporting the channel. Remember to use the emotes, by the way. Choices are gonna be insane. I'll be playing this game until I'm 50. Really? Damn. Yeah, for you mean Exodus? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the choices in that game are gonna be huge. At least I hope so. You know, the most important thing to me is like the atmosphere and the characters. Obviously, that is the most important thing to me, or most important things to me. You pre-ordered Expedition 33 just because I was buying it regardless. Cool. Quick question: have you ever played Returnal? No, I haven't. I do want to play it though. I have said for a pretty long time now that I'm gonna play it, but I never do because, well, I'm a little busy, but I really want to. So if that is something you guys really want to see, I could probably stream it and try it out, or just make a video about it, you know, because it looks interesting. I think Returnal and that other game that is like an Alan Wake offshoot, I want to play that too. Control. So Returnal and Control are two games that I want to play. And I haven't. I really do. It's hard but really fun. It does look fun. I'm not really sure what it's about though. But it looks sci-fi. So I'm guessing it's in my wheelhouse. Control, that game is sweet. Yeah, it looks really cool. But those two I think I want to play. We'll see whenever I do it, though, you know. If we can reach 1,000 members until the end of the week, we'll do it. Put some pressure on you guys. Exodus, some alien characters seem like not good, but okay, maybe for me. Oh, you mean like the design? Yeah, I mean, it has a very distinct art style for sure. But then again, I don't have a problem with Exodus and that's art style. Like it has its own unique spin. I do think that the main character so far, June, that they've shown, like the version of June, because you can obviously customize June to be either, you know, man or woman, or you can like customize their face and, you know, stuff like that. So I do think June looks pretty good. Some of the other characters look a little iffy, but again, it's like, yeah, I just think you gotta get used to it. Are you gonna play Expedition 33 when it releases? Yeah, I'm planning to. I was thinking I'm gonna stream it. If you guys want to watch, then I can do that probably, because I really want to experience that game live for once and see how it is, like playing it from start to finish. Vapor, I finally beat Veilguard the other day. While it's got big problems, the last act was very good. I can say that, yes. As much as Veilguard has a lot of problems, the last act is pretty banger. Absolutely. Yeah, that's when things really hit the fan. But it's also like before that, there's a lot of yikes. There's some good things, but there's a lot of yikes. But then the ending was definitely the one thing I think was the coolest thing. Will you stream on Twitch or YouTube? Both. I'm actually streaming on Twitch right now at the same time. So Twitch and YouTube. So don't worry about it. Are you a fan of Doom? Absolutely. Big fan. Especially the new games, obviously. They're so good. I should go. I to Jaws. Have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you for being here. Give me Dragon Age Origins game with the Dragon's Dogma 1 mage abilities. That would be amazing. Oh, hell yeah. Meteor? Then again, I mean, I was about to say Dragon's Dogma 2, but then I realized that you don't have as many spell slots in Dragon's Dogma 2. So in Dragon's Dogma 1, yeah. Yeah. I gotta go to as well, guys. This was just meant to be a short stream, just as always. I'm still getting into the groove. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna stream Expedition 33 next week. So if you guys want to see the game before it comes out, I'm probably gonna get a code the day before. That's generally how these things works. I don't know, but I'm probably gonna get a day before so you can see more of the game as I play through it. So I'll let you guys know whenever that is, but at some point next week. But thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Remember, become a member if you haven't already. That's the best way to support the channel if you want more future quality content, I guess. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.